everybody, this is Women's Grandmaster Sabina Foisor. Welcome back to Day-Today Chess. For today, I will be going over round 5 of the Second World Chess Championship for Disabled. You can find out more information about the event on worldchess-disabled.com. Additionally, I'm providing here and of course in the description below a link where you can go and download the games with my comments. Every single day I'm commenting 10 games, the first 10 games played in the tournament, and you can go on this link and download them there. I would recommend you to do so because some of these games show impressive attacking skills and impressive technique in endgames. You would not want to miss some of these endgames where from a little advantage one of those players manages to transform the little advantage into a win. So don't miss out downloading the games and checking out at least the end games if you don't want to check out all of the game. My pick of the day for today is the game between Kovalenko Vladimir and Yarmonov Igor. Let's see how the game went. So bishop e2, this is a move that we haven't seen. It's an older line and it enters basically in reverse Philidor if black plays d5 in this position, or soon after, not immediately right now, but after knight f6 then d5. I have noticed Grandmaster Badur Jobava plays this a couple of times. He played it actually more than a couple of times against top players and he has really good results. So if at some point you feel like you don't want to play any theory, just go check out Jobava's games and you're ready to go for a nice Philidor with white, so technically with a tempo up. Knight f6, d3, d5, so here we have it. In this position, black went for a5. I personally would recommend here for black, if black would play against the Philidor, to play bishop c5. And the idea of this bishop c5 is that, of course, you want to finish your development first. And additionally, your bishop here on this diagonal is really good, controlling the center. You're not worried about any knight b3 because you have bishop b6. And if white is going to play c3, let's say in this position, now we can play a5 because maybe there's some b4, b5 threat. So a5 is a good move right now. But when black played it, I don't think it was necessary. But again, I'm not an e4 player myself with white, so I couldn't tell exactly how black should play this position. It is just my intuition that tells me that we should be thinking of finishing the development first. However, this is not a bad move, of course, but here white made a mistake. A slight dubious move, I think, a4. Because with a4 now, anytime you're going to play c3 and I'll have d4, you will have some problem because if you trade, then b4 is going to be a square that you're giving away forever. And if you don't trade, how are you going to develop the bishop from c1? Because anytime you want to push b3, I will trade in c3 and then I'll have the b4 square. So that's why I think a4 is slightly bad move for white. Instead, I would recommend just finishing the development. Like I always say, castle. Then c3, you know, see how you can do here. Okay, a4 was played. Bishop e7. So black chose the more solid approach, defensive approach, let's say, for the moment, until he finished up his development. Castle, and here he went on playing b6 to try to develop this bishop on this either b7 or a6. Why here? Well, it wouldn't do anything in g4. Besides, you see, black doesn't have that much space. So if you bring it in g4, you probably would bring it there to trade it for the knight. And why would you do that when white doesn't have space, right? So definitely it's better on this side of the board, putting some pressure on d3, possibly having some threats on this pin. Rook e1, bishop a6, queen c2, queen d7. So here we have it. Black finished his development. White did not yet. Bishop f1. And here I really like the continuation that black chose, and that is d4. I'm pretty much done developing. I'm not sure where I want to place my rooks, so I go d4, which is typical also when white plays this Philidor, he goes d5. So d4 now, we are going to put pressure in c3 and kind of tell white, well, if you ever want to push that pawn, we are sorry, these pawns are going to be traded and I have the b4 square, like I mentioned to you earlier. So here, white made a mistake. He played c4, which I think is a big positional mistake, and that is that he gives c4, the b4 square, I'm sorry. So black will be able to place a piece there. Additionally, he will never be able to play b4. He gave up the tension in the center, and now what is going to be white's plan? With a pawn in c3, at least you can sometimes take, open up the c file, have something. But with c4, you're just blockading and giving up any plans on the queen side forever. Instead, I'm recommending, okay, if we're still going to give the b4 square, at least capturing, and if takes, now knight c4, we get some play with the knight to c4. Now these captures are not possible. If you play bishop b4, bishop d2, I want to finish my development, I want to trade pieces, you know. This seems like a natural way for white. Even if you don't play bishop b4, I will still play bishop d2, rook c1, you know, try to have something on the c file. But after c4, it's completely bad here for white. And black found a very nice move that I liked, queen e8. And if you just look at this move, you might not know what he wants. Well, now I put the arrow, so of course you know what black wants. But yeah, he's freeing the d7 square to bring this knight towards f5, c5, I'm sorry, and he wants to play f5. So that is the cool idea about this. And why bring the knight there and why not go to h5? Well, because we want to make sure white won't have any plan possible on the queen side. b4, yes, it's not possible right now, but maybe it could be possible still somehow. So that's why with the knight in a5, basically the structure, with the knight in c5, the structure of white is going to be kind of focused on the, is going to be blocked on the queen side, so we can focus on the king side. Additionally, with the knight in c5, we're going to have pressure in d3, so at some point we have knight b4 as well, bring extra pressure. After playing f5, if these pawns get traded, we will bring our bishop to put pressure in d3, so definitely really a great idea with this queen e8. Queen e6 was also a possibility, but maybe black didn't want to allow this knight g5, although we have queen d6 and still the same plan, and that knight is going to be chased away from there. But you know, I like this knight, queen e8. It's a very cool idea found by black, very creative. Knight d7, knight a3 to bring the knight to b5. Okay, bishop takes a3. Black didn't want to allow any knight b5, and now I'm also putting your rook even worse in a3 than it was in a1. And now, of course, knight c5, very good move. Don't even think that your rook will get active through b3 ever. Rook, of course, has to go back, and now bishop c8. The bishop doesn't do anything in a6 anymore, so we are recycling it to a better place by playing, preparing to play c5. Bishop d2. Here, black could have played f5 immediately, but instead he played bishop d7 first, b3. Now he went for f5. There's really no necessity to play bishop d7 first, but anyways, now f5 has been played, and white simply has to capture, because if he doesn't, I'm going to capture, and then I have some queen g6. Maybe you will have some problems on the file. I also will be able to push d3 at some point, so you really don't want to allow that capture. So white took in f5, bishop takes f5. And now we brought an extra piece to attack d3. Our queen is coming towards f5, h5. The rook is on the f file opened. Everything is great in black's position. So here, white played knight h4. By the way, I want to mention that knight g5 wouldn't really work here, because we simply have queen g6 attacking the knight and in d3. And if you play knight e4, I can take, and here, amazing move, rook f3, after which, I don't even know what to say. Poor white, this pawn is hanging, d3 is coming, e4 is going to be hanging, this rook a to f8 is another threat. This position is just winning for black. So Knight g5 is not even possible, and you can't even think about moving the bishop and coming knight g2 because there'll be knight b4 as soon as you leave with the bishop from controlling the b4 square. So yeah, knight h5, and here bishop d7 would have been a possibility to keep that bishop, but black didn't care very much about keeping the bishop. He went queen f7. Now capture, of course, that's why white went knight h4. And after queen takes f5, we've got a little threat there in f2. Also, we're bringing an extra pressure in d3. So white is really kind of forced to play f3 here. Also, to stop any e4s at some point, that white is now solid there. But the problem is his bishop in f1 is not going to do anything. He's very passive, and from here on, black all he has to do is improve the position of his pieces. And let's see how he went on to convert this position. King h8 first. Now rook a to d8, bringing the rook possibly towards the 6th rank, or just defending there. I'm joking. Of course, this rook needs to be brought towards the attack. Queen g6. Okay. Rook f2. Rook d6. Rook f1. Well, rook f6. That was my idea, right? That's why I brought the rook on the d file. And here, what to do with white? I mean, you know, I'm going to have some knight b4 ideas. You're really out of moves, really. I mean, so white played g3, but this is also a little bit weakening of the position. So here h6, a very small little move here, and is going to help. After moving the queen, we're going to play g5. So it's definitely a nice prophylactic move, let's say. Queen b1, queen h7, queen c2, g5. Well, white, like I said, has nothing to do, but black is just slowly improving the position of his pieces and getting ready to at some point open up the position with some h5 stuff, maybe g4, maybe h4. It depends how white's pieces will be set at that particular moment. After h3, black continued queen g6, slowly, rook g2, okay, rook g8, queen b1, queen h7. You know, sometimes they just play a little bit to kind of figure out how to continue these ideas. Of course, my next move is going to be h5 now that I took the queen out of any kind of possibilities of opening up the g file. h5. And here white decided that I can't stay anymore. He's going to open up the position and I'm going to be mated. So he went for b4. But now the problem is that after capturing 2 times, now a4 became a weakness. So black just came on the other side, rook a8. He didn't hurry, of course, to take that pawn. There's no point because you'd give some big counterplay with queen e8. So that's why he went rook e6 first to control the e8 square. Now white played f4. Kind of this was a killing move. Suiciding move, let's say. Instead, he had to try to keep the position, defend it a little bit longer with rook a1. But after takes here, I think black is going to convert this pretty soon. So after f4, simply take, and here black has a decisive advantage. Pawn takes. My king is safe. Yes, you have the rook on the g file, but you can't really do anything. My queen in h7 is a good protector. Bishop f3, rook g8. The g file can be used by me as well. Rook g6. I have 2 rooks. Trades. Okay, check. Oh, don't worry. Queen e6. Now my queen is going to get active. As you can see, black didn't allow white to get his queen active at all. King f1, queen e6 again. I'm still controlling any entrances with your queen. So you did open up the position, but it didn't help you to actually get any counterplay with white. Queen c6, check, check, queen e6. I'm ready to trade the queens. After queen c7, queen e1, white resigned simply. No matter where you go, I'll have queen g3 winning the bishop. Stay tuned for more tomorrow.